What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Let me just say this off the rip. AI has murdered music. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm not here to hold hands and talk about the opportunities. I'm putting it straight like that. AI has murdered music. I look around right now and I see what's happening, and I see the grave being dug. I see the headstones being carved, and the name on it says human creativity. Let's start with this fake band, Velvet Sundown. They racked up streams, built a story, had a whole image, and none of it was real. Not the music, not the faces, not the bio, not even the damn font. It was all generated, all computer, all cap.
Meet the Velvet Sundown, a name that's been streaming through millions of headphones. But what if there's no one actually playing? This mysterious band stormed onto Spotify in mid-2025 and quickly became a viral sensation. But as listeners dove deeper, questions began to rise. Who are they? And more importantly, what are they? Launched on June 5, 2025, their debut album Floating on Echoes made an instant impact. Within weeks, the Velvet Sundown reached over 500,000 monthly listeners, climbing steadily to 750,000. Their sound, a hazy blend of 1970s rock and nostalgic indie pop songs like Dust on the Wind, landed on global playlists. But as their popularity grew, so did the silence. No interviews, no concerts, no proof of a real band. It didn't take long for internet sleuths to notice the red flags: AI-generated album covers, generic social posts, and a total lack of live presence. Then came the confirmation. A cryptic statement from the band read, "The Velvet Sundown is a synthetic music project. Not quite human. Not quite machine." On July 5th, they admitted it. Everything was AI. The music, the lyrics, the vocals, even the band's image. Reactions poured in. Critics slammed the project as soulless and a theft dressed up as art. Others praised the music's atmospheric quality, calling it perfect for background listening. But the real concern, transparency. Streaming platforms like Deezer labeled the band as AI-generated, while Spotify and Apple Music remained silent. The incident ignited debates about disclosure, digital ethics, and what it means to be a real artist.
And people fell for it. People streamed it. People said it sounded good. Do you know what that means? It means the consumer doesn't care anymore if you're real. They just care if it sounds good enough to pass. That's the death blow. Because music used to be built off who you were. It was built off where you came from. It was built on the sweat and the story behind the sound. James Brown didn't just sing. He sweated on the stage. He made the horn section his instruments. He built funk out of his bones. Marvin Gaye, he didn't just record songs. He poured his life into the microphone. He fought the label to make what's going on. Now, you can type a prompt, you can press a button, and you can generate 1,000 beats for $10. Where's the sacrifice in that? Where's the talent in that? Where's the pain that separates one person from the next? I remember when I got my MPC 3000, the Roger Lynn edition. It took me months to learn that machine, months to understand the buttons. That was discovery. That was creation. That was blood, sweat, and time. Now, a 10-year-old can open a laptop, type in, make me a Drake beat, and have 200 options in 30 seconds, and then call himself a producer. So tell me this, what's gonna separate a 10-year-old from a 40-year-old now? What's gonna separate somebody with 10 minutes of playing around on an app from somebody with 20 years in the game? Nothing. And that's the problem. Because if AI is writing the lyrics, if AI is doing the vocals, if AI is making the beats, and what is the human being doing? Ad-libs? Filler? Pushing the buttons? Look, I've been in studios and heard it with my own ears. People who can't sing, letting the AI create them a voice. And then they just sprinkle some ad-libs on top. And then they walk out of the booth talking about, I'm an artist.
No, you're not.
The machine is the artist. You're just a tour guide. And it's killing hip-hop in particular. Because hip-hop was born out of rawness. It was born out of originality. It was born out of taking your life story and making it rhyme. The block created hip-hop. The pain created hip-hop. The struggle created hip-hop. Now, AI is writing rhymes for kids who never lived it. It's handing out flows to people who don't even have a story. So what do? You get 1 million copies of the same damn sound. You get a factory, not a movement. Back in the day, if one sound popped off, everybody would try to bite it. But you could tell who was who. Nas didn't sound like Big. Pac didn't sound like Scarface. Outkast didn't sound like Mobb Deep. Now, if one song pops off, AI will flood the market with 10,000 versions of it. All instant, all identical. So how does anybody stand out? How does anybody claim originality? How does anybody say, this is me? You can't. Because the machine has removed the struggle. The machine has removed the learning. The machine has removed the individual. And let me tell you something. Once you remove the individual from music, it ain't music no more. It's just noise. I look at streaming and how it already has killed the value of music. People don't pay for music anymore. People pay $10 a month to stream everything. Artists are already fighting to survive off pennies. Now you add AI to that, it's not even a fight no more. It's a slaughter. And the saddest part, established artists, they struggling too. But at least they grandfathered in. They got names, they got fans, they got a legacy. The new artists don't stand a chance. How does a kid coming up compete with a teenager who can make 1,000 AI beats and rap AI lyrics all day? How does a young producer make a name when the whole industry is flooded with button pushers, calling themselves producers? This ain't just a shift. This is a death. And you can call it innovation. You can call it progress if you want. But I call it what it is. The murder of music. Hip-hop survived Napster. Hip-hop survived streaming. Hip-hop survived bootlegging. Hip-hop survived label politics. But I don't know if hip-hop survives this, because this ain't just distribution. This ain't just sales. This is the creative core itself being stripped away. And when the core is gone, what's left? Background noise? Playlist filler? Artificial everything? So yeah, I'm asking the question nobody wants to face. Will we ever have another James Brown? Will we ever have another Marvin Gaye? Will we ever have another Pac, another Big? Or will we just have machines mimicking the ghosts who came before? Because if that's the future is bleak. And that's why I'm telling you right now, AI has murdered music and the funeral is happening in real time. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.